Four Downs podcast. This is our fourth episode. We are joined once again by Josh Velez from the Kablumski Sports Show. How are you doing today,
What's
Josh?
going on, guys? Thanks for having me on again. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome. It's great to have you. We're going to start off with Thursday Night Football. The Bucs and Falcons go to overtime in a great game. Unfortunately for our friend Josh here, the Bucs were not able to pull it out. It was 36-30 in favor of the Falcons. Just looking over the game, a really, really strong offensive performance from both teams. We were just talking about Baker Mayfield being very efficient. 19 for 24 for 180 yards and 3 touchdowns. So not moving the ball a long distance, but moving the ball efficiently, which I'm a huge Alex Smith fan. So seeing a quarterback dink and dunk his way down the field really gets me going. Rachaad White with 10 carries for 72 yards. Bucky Irving with 9 carries for 44 yards. The Bucs' run game seems to have kind of balanced out between the two. Earlier in the year, Rachaad White was assumed to be the bell cow, but a lot of people were saying Bucky Irving had the talent, and it is looking like he is sort of starting to catch up to Rachaad White. His efficiency was not quite there. Rachaad White was the much better back in this game. So as a Bucs fan, first off, what do you think for fantasy owners out there about the Bucky Irving versus Rachaad White debate?
That's
here?
a tough one. That's a good question. I'm a Bucky Irving fan. I feel like he complements Rachaad White very, very well. Definitely, you don't lose a step when Rachaad White is off the field. But he is young. He did have that fumble on Thursday night, and that kind of hurt him. But as long as he stays, efficient with the run game and stays true to himself, he'll be all right. He'll be all right.
Good. Now let's flip over to the other side, the Falcons, a completely different game script. Kirk Cousins, 42 for 58. Also very efficient, but threw almost 60 passes in the game. That is insane. They ran the ball 18 times. 509 yards, 4 touchdowns, and an interception. If you're the Buccaneers defense, you cannot allow that to happen. Kirk Cousins cannot throw for 509 yards in a game when you've still got Bijan Robinson back there. You've got Tyler Algier back there. You can't let Kirk Cousins just absolutely pick you apart. And like we were saying, he found his people. Drake London, 12 receptions for 154 yards and a touchdown. Darnell Moneyman Mooney with 9 receptions, 105 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kyle Pitts getting involved. Ray McLeod with 6 catches. Is Atlanta going to become like an air raid team? Is this the winning formula for them if they have a team whose secondary isn't able to slow them down? What did you see last night or on Thursday night? I'm sorry. I forgot this is Saturday morning.
It's all good. So first of all, you got to give them credit. And you got to give Raheem Morris credit as well. He's doing whatever he needs to do to get his team to win. If he needs to throw the ball, like you said, 60 times to get the win, that's what he's going to do. He doesn't care. He's already been on record to say he doesn't care about stats. But you got to give credit to what Kirk Cousins is doing. He definitely graduated, in my opinion, to a clutch quarterback class. What he's performing out there is just nothing short of amazing. He's, like you said, he's finding his targets. He's being efficient with what he's doing, and he's running that 2-minute offense to perfection. So you got to give credit where credit's due. But on the flip side of that, real quick, the defensive side of the Bucs, you live and die by the blitz, right? You're either gonna win with it or you're gonna lose with it, and we saw that on Thursday night. I'm a Todd Bowles fan. I like what he does defensively, but unfortunately, sometimes you got to make that adjustment. And with a veteran quarterback that you're facing, he's going to notice that, and he's going to pick that apart.
Yeah. I was rooting for the Bucs. I had the Bucs in our chaotically intolerant betting pool. I had the Bucs money line. So, unfortunately, they were unable to pull it out. It was a great game. And that's what we need on Thursday night. We need great games. For sure. Both teams 3-2 now. With the Saints, of course, very, very well inside the hunt in that division also. That's going to be a fun division to watch down here in the NFC. Let's move on to our Week 5 game picks. Last week, Josh did a very good job of picking games. I believe you got a lot right. However, it's back to my turn, and I am historically on this podcast not good at picking games. So, Josh, read them off, and I'll give you my take.
Well, first of all, I feel good about you this week. I think that you got it on this week. So the first matchup we're going to do is Jets-Vikings. Jets-Vikings.
9:30 a.m. in London. Yep. Old man Rodgers comes into that game with a bad case of jet lag, and the Vikings blow them up. Book it.
Nice.
That's my pick.
Okay.
The Jets' offense looked awful last week, so the Vikings look good.
All righty, on to the next one. We got Panthers-Bears. Panthers at Bears.
Bears, easy. Caleb Williams lights them up. I love Andy Dalton over there in Carolina. I support my redheaded brethren, but it's the Bears this week.
The Red Rocket, no. Okay. Ravens-Bengals.
This is the game of the week. I took Ravens with the points. I think Ravens win in a close game, but it's not as close as the score says. That's my prediction.
Ooh, I like that. We're going to have a
mysterious,
high-powered offenses. Dolphins versus Pats.
Dolphins 3-2. Patriots get a safety.
I like it. It's going to be a blowout. All righty, Browns at Commanders.
You know, I'm on the Jaden Daniels hype train. QB1 Jaden Daniels. I'm taking the Commanders. Their running game has looked a little iffy. Brian Robinson is out or was questionable. The Commanders' run defense is terrible. Luckily, the Browns' running offense is not great. So I do think this sort of plays into the Commanders' strengths here. They're going to be able to run the ball, and Jaden Daniels is emerging as a passer. So I got Commanders by 7.
Jaden Daniels is the beast. Colts at Jags, division matchup.
Our boy Alex, not with us today. He's here in spirit. Unfortunately, I got to pick against him. Colts, I know. Colts, Jonathan Taylor out. Anthony Richardson questionable. We're not going to see a 2-touchdown, 3-interception game from Anthony Richardson today. Funny that the dude either throws it for like 65 yards and you say, oh my God, this guy has Josh Allen arm talent. And the next play, it's like, what are you doing here, partner? I've got the Jaguars in a close one.
Yeah, Jags get their first win. Okay, Bills versus Texans. Yeah, think about it.
Bills are Josh Allen's too good. He's too good. That's another close one, but a high-scoring close one. Texans defense has been all over the place. Josh Allen has been just finding ways to win. He's a consummate winner. I'll take the Bills.
Nice pick. All righty, on to the next one. Raiders at Broncos.
Too much drama, and we're going to talk a little more about the Raiders here. There's too much drama in that locker room. I'm taking the Broncos.
All righty, another division matchup, I believe, is Cardinals 49ers.
I'm going to take the Cardinals to win this one on the road. Like it. I don't know. I feel good about the Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison connection this week. And I, being the idiot I am, I traded Marvin Harrison away after week 1 in our fantasy league. He's going to go out for 50.
Not to mention the 49ers are banged up on defense, too, so good pick.
Extremely. And they are even offensively, they've got guys coming back from injury, but who haven't played, maybe have been limited in practice. I don't know. I think there's a lot of issues over there in San Francisco that are outside of their control, unfortunately.
All right. We got Packers at Rams.
Packers. Let's rattle off a few of these quick because we got 42
Giants,
seconds.
Seahawks.
Easy by a lot.
Last two, Cowboys, Steelers.
My head says Steelers, but my heart tells me Dak Prescott is just too likable. I got to root for the Cowboys. Unfortunately, I know a lot of Cowboys haters out there, but Dak Prescott is such a likable guy, and we don't have enough of that in the NFL. I'm riding with Dak for one more week, and then he blows this one, I'm moving on.
And then on to this one. This was a tough one for you. Saints versus Chiefs. Who you got?
Chiefs by 60.
Got it.
Chiefs by 60. So as we were saying earlier, a lot of drama in the Raiders locker room. Davante Adams demanding a trade between last game and now. A lot of people sort of got the idea that he was not happy there. He's an elite wide receiver. He wants an elite quarterback. No hate to Gardner Minshew. Super cool guy. Great mullet, great mustache, great style. All around cool dude. But he's not slinging it like Davante Adams hoped when he went to Las Vegas. Back when they had his college teammate, Derek Carr, there. And we see what Derek Carr is doing over in New Orleans. So I think Davante Adams is looking at that and saying, this is the guy I wanted throwing me the ball. He wants out, and he wants to go somewhere with a top quarterback. So the teams that everybody seems to be pushing are the Jets and the Saints. He wants to go back with Derek Carr, or he wants to go back to Aaron Rodgers. However, those are not my choices. I think best fit would be the Buffalo Bills. Josh, what is your best fit?
Well, I definitely have the Buffalo Bills up there too, but I'll switch it up. And I think the Chargers. He'll go in there. He'll be the lead receiver, the alpha. He has a decent quarterback there in Justin Herbert. And I think that that would be a good connection to have.
Yeah. Now, I mean, as a Chiefs fan, I would be terrified to see Justin Herbert and Davante Adams. They are down all of their receivers. They lost Austin Eckler as well. I was sort of hoping that this season would sort of knock them down a notch so we didn't have to worry about them for a year or two, maybe even force them into a rebuild. However, if you've got Davante Adams there, there's no rebuild. You're going for it. If you make a move like that, it means that organization thinks they have the pieces to compete in the division. Going out east to Buffalo, the Bills have looked great even without Stephon Diggs. And while I don't think Davante Adams would be an upgrade over what they had with Stephon Diggs, it certainly gives Josh Allen another elite option. It allows Keon Coleman to develop a little longer, maybe learn some tips and tricks from one of the best in the game. You've got Khalil Shakir, take some of that pressure off of him. He has performed well, but I don't know if he is a true number one option. Dalton Kincaid, go back to him just sort of playing his role, getting a handful of targets a game, making the most out of them. They show their running game is elite. James Cook looks really good. Josh Allen can do it with his legs when he needs to. That would be a very, very dangerous situation. Do you have any other takes there?
No, I agree with everything you said with the Bills. If he were to go there, not only would he, obviously be the alpha there, but man, he can develop these wide receivers. I think you mentioned and you touched that as well. But having that veteran presence, he's done this a while now. He knows how to prepare for games, how to watch film, things like that. And he can help a Keon Coleman, a Shakir, stuff like that. The only thing I don't like about the whole situation is that the Bills have a good vibe going on over there. They have a good nucleus. They have a good, they're just all around a good group. And I don't know if bringing somebody like that new into the picture, if that, fits in that mold, or would that kind of, separate it? So that's my only question I have there.
Yeah, but at the same time, how do you turn that down? You got to tell your boys, hey, we got something good going on, but we're going to put the best guys in their places. I absolutely agree. There is something to be said for keeping a good thing going. But at what point in the year do the Bills not have enough to compete with a playoff run where you've got to get through Baltimore, you've got to get through Kansas City, you've got to get through maybe Houston again.
Oh, yeah.
You got to add something else. But I think you're right. They definitely have to consider that. I think he's going to end up in New York back with Rodgers because go back to your abusive ex. Unfortunately, it's a tale as old as time. I don't understand the allure of going back to play with a 40-year-old Rodgers in an offense that's been struggling. Talk about chemistry issues. Garrett Wilson wants to be the number one. You bring Davante Adams in, that's a slap in the face to Garrett. So that's all I got to say there. All right, to round out our show today, we have the NFL's Week 5 Power Rankings updates. I want to go through the top 10, touch on some teams that have fallen, touch on some teams that are way up, see what your takes are on these rankings, if they match up with what we think. Generally, the NFL Power Rankings, they always get one or two wrong. So let's try to identify those. They've got the Vikings up 2 spots to number 1. The Chiefs dropping a spot to number 2. Lions up to 3. Bills dropping 2 spots to 4. Texans up to 5. Ravens up 2 to 6. Washington Commanders up 9 spots to number 7 due to their 3-1 record. The Bucs are up 7 slots to number 8. Packers have fallen 2 to number 9. Pittsburgh took 1 step down to 10, with Philly falling significantly and New Orleans falling out of the top 10. So those are the spots that it was, like I said, Philly and New Orleans out of the top 10, Tampa Bay, Washington into the top 10. Just off first glance, I understand the Bills lost the game last week. There's no universe where they're not one of the 3 best teams in the NFL. Lions are outstanding. They belong in the top 3. And the Chiefs are the 2-time defending Super Bowl champions, and they are 4-0. There's no universe where they're not number 1. I understand the Vikings, the hype. They are outperforming a lot of their expectations. I don't care if they're 4-0. They're not one of the 3 best teams in the NFL. And you're a big Vikings fan. You like that Brian Flores defense. And that Brian Flores defense has shown out all year. They look good against Green Bay. However, the defense didn't look like it had looked in earlier weeks. It wasn't that complete shutdown unit. Yet they get moved up. What do you think? Who do you think is high, low, just right? We'll do the 3 little bears here. Who's too high? Who's too low? Who's just right?
Too high. Excuse me. Too high for me is Washington. I understand they're on a hot streak. They're doing great. They're winning. They're doing their thing. They haven't won a big game yet, in my opinion. Maybe that changes this week, beating a defense of Browns, but they're just a little bit too high for me. The lower
week 6. Week 6. By the way, week 6 they have Baltimore.
Ooh, so
we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out who's who in week 6.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that would be a good marquee matchup and something to a signature win for Jaden Daniels for sure. My lower. Who not should be here is Pittsburgh. Why are they in the top 10? I get that they're winning, but I mean, are they really the top 10 best team? You got to think about it. I mean,
they're not better than Seattle.
Not better than Seattle. I mean, the Saints are still competing out there. I forgot the other ones that you mentioned that dropped out.
Oh, Philly dropped, but they're not better than the Eagles.
No.
Eagles have injury issues, so I get that, but
no.
So those are 2 teams that are too high. Sorry, continue with what you're saying.
No. You're right. To me, they're too high. They just need to have a signature win. I just need a signature win against a big-time opponent, and then we'll favor them.
Yeah, so too low. I say Chiefs, Lions, Bills should all be bumped up 1. Minnesota should be 4. Too high, you say Commanders. I agree. Maybe number 10. They're not number 7. I agree. Pittsburgh is not better than Seattle. They're not better than the Eagles. They're not better than the Saints. They might be, maybe by the year's end. I don't think they've shown it. Now, your Bucks.
Yeah.
Do you think they are the 8th best team in the NFL?
No, sir. I'm going to be completely honest with you. They are a sneaky team. I do believe they belong in the top 10. Maybe 8's a little bit high. They are a sneaky team, but man, our division is competitive right now, unfortunately. And like we mentioned the Saints. But we got to give the flowers to Atlanta as well. Obviously, we've seen that Thursday night. We are going to compete. We are one of the top 12, 10 teams, but I just don't feel we're number 8 yet.
Yeah, except Baker is hyper elite. He's the upper echelon. Obviously not. I just love Baker Mayfield.
Listen, as long as he keeps that ball safe, no interceptions, and keeps on doing what he does, the dink and dunk, like you said, I'm all for it.
Yeah. He's run the ball, pass when you need to. And that takes us to the end of our time. However, if you haven't watched the Amazon special with Eli and Peyton putting Baker Mayfield undercover to go on a tour of Raymond James with the
Gus
fans,
Swayze?
it is one of the it is the funniest thing I've ever seen. Go check that out.
Yes.
As always, thank you for watching. Josh, thank you for joining us. I'm going to be over on the Kablumski Sports Show here in about, 10
sir.
minutes, talking a little bit of playoff baseball.
sir.
So find the Kablumski Sports Talk Show on YouTube. Check that out. Follow us here at Spring Hill Sports Cards on YouTube. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Follow me on TikTok. I'm only about 20 followers away from 1,000. Find us on Instagram. Follow Chaotically Intolerant, all the podcasts under the Chaotically Intolerant Media Network. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.